What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the RabidMining YouTube channel. And the ERGO difficulty finally adjusted down, but it's still not where it needs to be. So here is a tweet from GetBlock. The difficulty just dropped to 16.6 pH. Still needs to get through one more epoch, which is 1024 blocks, to find balance between current hash rate and the difficulty. Let's push through this and get some blocks. We're doing something crazy, 50% increase on all blocks found through the next epoch. Now, even at that, I still don't think it's going to be justified to where it actually should be. Let's take a look at some charts. So let's have a look. Here is the current ERGO hash rate, and it's sitting at about 25.12 terahash. Now, if we go back, this is actually pre-merge levels. Just before the merge went through, it was actually slightly higher. So here's a few days. Here's September 5th, so about 10 days before the merge, we're around 27 terahash, 24, 25, 27. So well within the range of our current 25 terahash. Now, if we look at the difficulty where we're at now, it's been at this high level for over a week now, and it finally just adjusted to 16.6p. 16.6. Now, if we look at pre-merge numbers here, we're hanging out at about 3.3, 3.43. We'll even take the high end here to give it the benefit of the doubt of 3.52. That is still about 4.7 times higher than what we have in terms of current hash rate on the algorithm, which means we're still at this adjustment didn't really do much. We're still going to have very high block times and a slow blocks being found and a long epoch until the next one goes through for this to adjust down yet again. Now, with that being said, at the current level, that is the difficulty of about 117 terahash when there's only 25 terahash on the network. You can see how high that difficulty is still sitting, even with this adjustment down. Now, here's a chart, the ERGO difficulty and epoch monitor, and we have the current block height and everything here. But look at the current time to find a block, anywhere between 338 to 686 seconds. We're supposed to be at 120 seconds, which is a 2-minute block time to remain where, the chain is supposed to be at. The next epoch starts at block 844,800. And again, you can see where we're at, 843,808. There's 900, a block just got hit, 991 blocks. I'm actually going to refresh this, seeing how we just found the block. So maybe something did change. But the next time until the next epoch is sitting around October 3rd of 2022. At the time of recording, this is the 25th. So we still have like 8 days. And at the time of viewing this, 7 days. There's still another week until we have this difficulty to adjust. And once it does adjust, it's still going to go down to an estimation here. Now, it's not guaranteed. This is an estimation, experimental, of 7.86. If the current hash rate remains, we're still a little over double of where that difficulty should be at. And just to run through all the lines here, this orange colored here, this is the actual difficulty itself. This blue line is the hash rate. We can see it's tanking down next to nothing here. And the gray line is the blocks being found. So this is your block times, how long it's taking to find each block. And as that hash rate drops and the difficulty doesn't adjust down fast enough, we're seeing a large increase in block time here, which means blocks are being found a lot slower. Now, what are some of the side effects of finding slow blocks? Well, transactions are not going through. It's taken a long time to send ERGO anywhere. Anything running on the chain is very slow. I believe FLUX just canceled ERGO parallel asset payouts until this is resolved and fixed, because it's going to take forever and may get expensive depending how their gas fees work. So I'm not sure how it works. So there is a fix in the works, and let's kind of look at this. So EIP-37 is being drafted and worked on right now, and it's going to change the epoch length to 128 blocks, down from that 1,024 or so that we saw earlier. Now it's going to calculate the predictive difficulty according to 8 epochs, which is pretty much what it's doing now. But now there's only 128 blocks, and each classic difficulty as done in Bitcoin average. So they're still doing the same thing here. They're not really changing anything other than adjusting the blocks in between each epoch, but they're still comparing it to Bitcoin. Now, what I like to look at here is people that mine Bitcoin they're buying ASICs for Bitcoin. And obviously, if you buy an ASIC, you're not buying a Bitcoin ASIC to mine something else. That's in the back of your mind. Now, there are other options on that algorithm that you can mine, but most people that buy a Bitcoin ASIC is going to mine Bitcoin. Now, depending on profitability and stuff, you may shut down, may move up, but you're not going to see massive hash rate swings like you do see with GPU mining. You can move an entire 1,000 GPU farm in the matter of seconds to a different coin if you want to try a different coin or something else is looking profitable. So there's going to be bouncing around all the time, especially since Ethereum has disappeared. So utilizing something that's as steady as Bitcoin on something that everybody is fighting for currently and probably going to for at least the next year or longer, then I don't think this is the way to go about it. But again, we won't know how this plays out until this actually goes through. Now, this part is interesting as well. They're going to limit the change so that the difficulty can never be changed by more than 50% per epoch. So that's kind of interesting here. So by epoch, that's every 128 blocks. So if we go back into this, this is still going to kind of have the same effect, except it's just going to be a little bit faster. So we get all this hash rate come in, we're going to blow through that 128 blocks very fast when this difficulty is low. So with that being said, it's not going to adjust the difficulty right away like we see here, these big spikes going up. Instead of doing it this big like this each epoch, it's only going to go 50%. So half and half and half and half. But, you know, that's okay, and it'll adjust faster going up. But I think we will still run into the same issue on the way down. So if a whole bunch of hash rate hammers into this and then it all comes off, now it's only when it's on the way downfall and it's dropping, it's only going to drop at 50% each epoch instead of where it should be each epoch. So I don't know, I may be reading into this wrong, but I still think, especially if large hash rate swings happen, and I think they might, depending on how many GPU miners are still in line, but it does sound like, you know, there's other hardware coming into the mixture soon. Still just rumors, don't know 100% truth on it, but just rumors. But there's other things that may be at works here, and we may see some super large hash rate swings here and there. But again, we won't know until this all plays out and we can actually watch it and see what it does. And here's just some rough estimations on calculating based on 128 blocks per epoch. So 128 blocks times 2-minute block time. Now it's supposed to be 2-minute block time. I think in the way this adjusts, you know, this difficulty in the way it adjusts, it does work good if you have a lot of consistent hash rate with minor swings up and down. But the time frame we're in, that's not the way it's working right now. We're seeing big hash rates all over the place constantly. But anyway, 128 blocks, 2-minute block times, 256 minutes is 4.26 hours per epoch. Now, 8 epoch predictive difficulty is 8 times 128 blocks by 2-minute block times, and that is 2,048 minutes or 34.13 hours, which is about a day and a half or so. Now, again, if a whole bunch of hash rate hits this, we're going to be finding blocks a lot faster than 2 minutes. And when hash rate jumps off and leaves it because it, you know, becomes unprofitable, everyone just moves away, we're going to be finding, you know, we're going to be back to 10-minute, 15-minute, 20-minute blocks, which means it's going to take a lot longer to adjust that difficulty down. All right, guys, so that pretty much does sum up this video. I don't know how this EIP is going to play out once it's implemented. I'm not sure when it's actually going to be implemented yet, but hopefully they do release it sometime soon. I think there may be voting and everything still involved, or they may bypass that. I really have no idea at this point. But once it is implemented, we're going to have to watch just to see what it does. Let me know down in the comments. How do you think this new EIP, is it going to fix the issue, or are we still going to kind of be in the exact same boat? It all comes down to how much hash rate swings on and off of the network. Now, a lot of miners are just shutting off. They're not selling hardware. They're waiting for difficulties to drop. So this is why I think this is going to be ongoing for a very long time, because as things do come down, people will move back on, and this will be an ongoing battle for 6 months, 1 year, year and a half. It's going to take a long time for miners to finally realize, okay, maybe profits aren't going to come back, and the next bull run may not even be as profitable as the previous bear run when Ethereum was still here. These are very widespread and ideas that could be true moving into that next bull run. And it's going to take a long time for people to realize that GPU mining might not be what it ever used to be. Thank you for watching, guys. I'll see you on the next one. Rabid out.